You know that feeling when you give your absolute best. Long nights, missed family dinners, blood, sweat, and pride, and instead of recognition, you get brushed aside like you never mattered? Yeah, that was me. An engineer who gave 4 years of her life to a company that didn't think I deserved more than a 3% raise. But when they said I wasn't management material, I smiled, because I already knew how I'd prove them wrong, and it wouldn't be in that building. If you've ever been underpaid, overlooked, or underestimated, hit that like button. Because today, you're about to hear how I turned 4 years of corporate exploitation into the best revenge of my life, and how I made more than my boss ever dreamed of. When I first started as an engineer for a defense contractor, I thought I'd made it. The pay wasn't amazing, but the projects were cool, the title sounded impressive, and I believed hard work always pays off. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. For 4 years straight, I lived the model employee dream. Late nights at the office, weekend calls, endless spreadsheets, and stress. All for those tiny 2 to 4% annual raises, just enough to keep me hanging on. Still, I kept pushing. I thought if I prove myself, they'll see my value. So when I finally got promoted to project engineer, I was ecstatic. It wasn't management yet, but it was close enough to smell it. That year, I managed a full team, 4 engineers, a designer, and 2 admins. We built something incredible, a high-tech system that generated $1.6 million in its first year. We even secured a patent for it. The US Air Force nominated us for a DoD Technical Award. They flew us to DC for the ceremony. It was the kind of success that turns heads. Except my company didn't care. I spent over 100 days away from home, living out of suitcases, working insane hours. But I thought it was worth it. This was my moment. This was where they'd finally say, "We see you. You earned it." Then came review season. I got my score 10 out of 10. Perfect. My boss smiled, patted me on the back, said, "You've done phenomenal work this year." I walked out of that meeting floating. Finally, recognition. Until I found out one of my team members, yes, someone under my supervision, had been promoted early. Not only promoted, but given a significant raise. Me? Just the standard 3%. Again, it felt like the air had been punched out of my chest. I wasn't angry yet, just stunned. So I did what every good employee does. I scheduled a meeting with my boss. When I asked why, he leaned back, arms crossed, and said, "Well, I didn't think they deserved that promotion either, but they had a different manager. You? You should try a little harder next year. Maybe then we'll talk." That was it. No apology. No accountability. Just that smug, patronizing smirk. Something inside me snapped that day. For the first time in years, I stopped trying. I started doing exactly what I was paid for. 40 hours. That's it. No unpaid overtime. No weekend calls. No late night, just one more test. If they wanted average, I'd give them average. And honestly, it felt amazing. I took every Friday off. Burned through my leave. Used every single sick day. For the first time, I wasn't living at my desk. I was living my life. My mental health improved. My energy came back. And most importantly, my resentment turned into something powerful, strategy. See, our department had a big education budget that barely anyone used. So I did. While my company thought I was coasting, I was quietly upgrading. My coworker, the one who got that early promotion, was taking MBA classes the company reimbursed. But those came with a trap: stay for several years or pay the money back. I smiled. Not my problem. Instead, I used that same budget for something smarter: technical courses. Finite element analysis. Advanced 3D modeling. Specialized training the market paid huge for. And while my boss thought I was just refocusing, I was building an escape route. About a month after I wrapped those classes, I started sending out applications. No big speech, no drama, just quiet determination. Every job I applied to required those exact skills I'd just learned. And within weeks, I got an offer. Base salary, double what I made, plus overtime. When I did the math, I'd make nearly triple in a good year. It felt unreal. Like every ignored idea, Every overlooked effort, every late night was finally being paid back with interest. When I handed in my 2-week notice, my boss looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Wait, what do you mean you're leaving?" I just smiled. "I got a new offer." He frowned. "We just paid for you to travel all over the country to learn those new skills. Don't you feel any loyalty? Any guilt?" I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Loyalty goes both ways. You lost mine when I gave you everything, and you gave me 3%. He stammered. "How much are they paying you? Maybe we can match it." I told him the number. He went silent, then muttered, "That's more than I make." I tilted my head and said softly, "Then maybe you should have taken those classes too." I walked out of that office feeling 10 feet tall. The payoff 1 minute. The following year, I made 3 times what I'd been earning before. My new company valued me, paid me for my hours, respected my expertise. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was thriving. And that boss? I heard he's still there, still overworked, still complaining about disloyal employees. Funny, right? They spend years teaching you to be grateful for crumbs, and then they're shocked when you learn to bake your own bread. Sometimes, revenge isn't about destroying anyone. It's about rebuilding yourself in silence and letting your success do the talking. If you've ever been undervalued, remember? You don't owe anyone loyalty who doesn't respect your worth. If that ending gave you chills, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Because sometimes karma doesn't need a fight, just a resignation letter.